Hello traders, bonjour, hola, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome back to Simply Forex. How the devil are you? Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a good day. We had a couple of trades that we've taken profit on today, so can't grumble with that. And I'll show you both of those trades very shortly. I'm just sorting out the live chat as well. This is live stream, so anything can happen, especially when it comes to technical stuff and me. So yeah, there you go, guys. We're having a good day. I'm going to share the trades with you very shortly. We're also going to take as many of your questions as possible during the live stream as well, guys. All right. So let me just check a few things on the live chat. Okay. We now have something else that we are excited to announce as well. We'll announce that very shortly, guys. All right. But yeah, hope you're all well. Don't forget to say hello. Tom, I love your new haircut. Things like this are welcome. And let's talk about trading and everything to do with trading. We've had, just to point out, guys, we've had some real pound weakness come into the market. I mean, you look at any pound pair, right? This is the H4, right? We've had this real pound weakness. You look at any cross pair. Yeah, pound CAD, look at that, pound weakness, pound Swiss franc, pound weakness, pound yen. So we're seeing some real pound weakness. And also we're seeing some Swiss franc strength. So Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, not as extreme as pound, but Swiss franc pair, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, okay, not as extreme, take it back. Euro, Swiss franc, okay. So, but yeah, that pound weakness, there was no news as such. It's just been, you know, very weak, my home country's currency. And can I just say, when I went back to the UK, how bloody expensive it is, right? I live in Dubai, and the UK was more expensive for sure, right? So let's all move to Dubai. I'll see you shortly. We can all be neighbors. Let's start with one of the trades that I got into, guys. And it was US dollar, Japanese yen. And it was just a quick H1 trade, right? So let me explain. So any US dollar pair today, right? You know, they were all pretty much setting up. I was looking at pound US dollar sales, euro US dollar sales, New Zealand dollar US dollar sales, US dollar Swiss franc buys. But the actual trade I got into was US dollar Japanese yen, right? This is the day chart. We're clearly in this uptrend, a bit of consolidation, but, you know, we're in an uptrend and we're getting bullish, bullish, bullish. Okay, so this was more US dollar strength, which we've been seeing. And then if I drop down to the H1, because this was just a H1 trade, right? You can see this H1 structure. If you just follow structure, this was basically what we were looking at, right? And this is what we're still looking at. We're still in a H1 uptrend, all right? And what I'm showing you guys is just simple price action. And I actually entered on this candle here, right? So I entered here, started buying, right? Put my stop loss below here, and then took profit back up at these highs for roughly 1:1. All right. So I've taken some profit. I closed 80%, and then I'm going to let 20% run. All right. So when I say 20% run, guys, it really depends on the following. So on the H4, if this H4 candle, right, holds on to this level, right, if we get a wick that closes back in like this, I will close the remainder of my profit, all right, which is only 20%. If we get a nice big bullish candle like this that breaks through this level, then I will happily continue to let some profit run. All right, so US dollar yen, we had a nice buy trade there earlier, guys. And yeah, we took some profit. So yeah, what else did I want to show you? Yeah, Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, we were also selling this one, guys. All right. So this was a nice in and out H1 trade as well. This was more of a weekly area of interest. Okay. So again, I'm just combining time frames to find these high probability setups. And if we look at the weekly chart, we're in a downtrend, right? And price literally got back to these last highs. So it's a weekly resistance level. Therefore, we can expect a reaction, right? Potentially all the way back down to here, back down to these lows, right? If we look at the day chart, now the day chart is a little bit less clear, okay? Because I would say we are in a daily uptrend, really, okay? But we're at this weekly level. Just look at these wicks, right? These wicks were just super bearish, okay? And then again, H1 structure for entry, okay? So at this point, we wasn't too sure where H1 was going to go, but then it broke down, right? So we were in a H1 downtrend. We were getting lower lows, right? Lower highs. And these highs in here actually held. Price came all the way back up. Then we got this huge rejection wick, right? And I actually entered on that, right? I got a little bit of a retrace, started entering about here. I put my stop up here, and then I took some profit back down to here. So I got 1 is to about 1.5 risk to reward, right? Nice trade. Again, I've taken 80% profit here, and we're going to let 20% run. Okay, so yeah, those are the trades. And let me just show you the VIP Discord, guys, because this is where I put all of my trades. All right, so so that you know that I put these trades in ahead of time. So this was today earlier on at 12 o'clock. Right, this was the US dollar yen trade. As I explained, this hit target, tick. And then also this was the Aussie dollar Swiss franc sell trade, which I put in at 1 o'clock this afternoon, right? So you can see that both of those hit target, right? Hit target, letting 20% run. All right, so if you want all of my trade signals as and when they happen, plus much, much more, lots of education, please come join the VIP Trading Academy. You won't be sorry. All right, guys. So yeah, enough about me. They're the two trades that I took today. Let's take a look and see who is in the house. So Jolma, how are you? Hi, Tom from Brazil. Where in Brazil, Jolma? Are you Brasilia? Are you Rio de Janeiro? What other places are there? They're the only two I know. Where are you from? Sisakello, how are you, mate? How's the swing trading going? RH Knight, I'm in Switzerland. That's why Swissy is so strong right now. RH Knight is singly responsible for the strength in the Swiss franc. That's how important he is in Switzerland. All right, so RH Knight, if you could give us a little clue ahead of time, next time, that would be great. Niraj, hi, how are you? All good, guys. And guys, please remember to ask as many questions as you like about trading, right? You're with me for 40 minutes or so, so take advantage, ask as many questions as you like. Don't be shy, come ask some questions. I'm sure, okay, Ryan, okay. I'm sure you had lots of questions from yesterday. I remember some of you were looking at some currency pairs, so please let us know, we can take a look at those. But if we just take a look now at US dollar pairs in general, right? US dollar strength is rife. Yeah, if we look at, let's take a look at the H4. We were looking at all of these sell trades. We were looking at Euro US dollar sells. These were all my trade ideas, which I put in the free Discord channel as well, right? Sells, US dollar strength. These were all the trades we were looking at today. Also New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And it hasn't taken long for them to hit target, right? So it'll be interesting to see what all of these US dollar pairs do now, right? We're at key support level here, right? If we go back to pound US dollar, right, we are at a key support level. This gray zone is a key support level. So it's going to be really interesting to see what all of these US dollar pairs do now. Now, what might have a big impact on these US dollar pairs is obviously news, right? And we have got a slew of news coming out, right? We've got this at 1:15. These are all GMT. So that is in about, I've got to work it out to buy time. That is in about an hour, right? And then we've got all of these as well. Okay, so all of this, all of this. And we've got the FOMC meeting minutes. So we've got a big afternoon, evening of US dollar data. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these US dollar pairs pan out at these key levels. Right. Ryan, how could I forget your name? All I see is RH Knight. Florianopolis, south of Brazil. I live by the beach. Joma, this is very nice. The whole of Simply Forex is going to come and visit you on your beach, and we're all going to just chill out and drink cocktails, if that's okay. Guys, any other questions about trading, then please feel free to ask me. What else was we going to look at today? Yeah, we was also looking at the Canadian. Was also looking at the Canadian dollar pairs, guys, right? So Euro CAD. I'm still interested in this as well. So if we look at the day chart, right, this is going to be the target back down to here, right, back down to these lows. So we still have a little bit of room to move into on the daily chart. Okay, so we're interested in Euro Canadian dollar, and you can see we're clearly in a downtrend, right? Lower lows, lower highs. That is the quintessential downtrend, right? You don't need to be Warren Buffett. And then if we look at the H4, I was waiting for a H4 structure break of this level, really. Okay, and we've got it. Now I'm waiting for a retrace. I would like to see a retrace back up to roughly where my alarm is. All right, and then I think we can also start selling Euro Canadian dollar back down to these lows. But I need that retrace, guys. Okay. If we look at this on the H1, right, you can see that retraces back to these lows here. Okay, so H1 would look something like this. We can start selling here, okay, to take price back down to here. I would probably put my stop above these last highs, above the moving average 20. So I'll probably put my stop loss or hedge, whatever you use up here, to take price lower. So still interested in Euro Canadian dollar sales. And also, and pound, as we know, has just flown off. So I'm not interested in pound Canadian dollar anymore because there's just no value here, right? I'm not going to start selling here. Okay, I'm going to wait for, this to play out. All right, and then we'll look at this with fresh eyes tomorrow. And that's pretty much all that I am looking at, guys. Right, let's take a few of your questions. Okay. I won't call you Ricky. I will call you Ryan. Shreyas, thoughts on Aussie dollar yen and New Zealand dollar yen. Okay, so let's take a look at Aussie dollar yen first of all. And let's do a top-down approach, guys, right? So yen pairs are technically tricky at the moment. They're that tricky, I'm going to have a drink of water before I talk about them. Guys, please don't forget to smash the like button. Greatly appreciated. So I'll do this one, right? But let's just plot structure. Again, what I deal in is facts. And these are the facts of this chart, right? So is this a downtrend or an uptrend? Now, I would have to say it's a downtrend, although it's not totally clear, right? But we've broken this consolidation up here. And now potentially we're getting lower highs if this is the new lower high, right? But you could easily argue this as well, guys, right? You could argue this. Yeah, then we're not too sure what we're in, right? We've got higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? Are we in an uptrend? So it's not clear for me, right? But because we broke this consolidation, I would say potentially we're in a downtrend on the weekly. And you can see at this level, there is lots of just stubbornness, like sellers. There are sellers here. It hasn't broken this level. Okay, so this again would suggest we can at least take price back down to this 96 level, right? But let's take a look at this from a daily chart as well. And again, it's scruffy, right? Because this is that level that I'm talking about. This level is not breaking thus far, right? Every time it gets to this level, look at the wicks, look at the wicks, look at the wicks, right? There's a lots of selling pressure here, okay? And even if we did break this level, we're immediately into another area of resistance. So buying Aussie dollar yen immediately is going to be difficult, right? You've just got resistance followed by resistance, okay? So buys are not that feasible. Unless we start breaking this gray zone, right, then potentially we can come higher. But at the moment, you know, buys are not looking feasible. Now, if we follow structure, which is a little bit scruffy, this is what we're seeing, right? So we are seeing higher lows, but these highs are not breaking. So really what we're seeing is, let's get my line in, is an ascending triangle. We're seeing something like this, guys, right? So let me make this a little bit clearer. So that's what we're seeing, right? We're seeing an ascending triangle. Price keeps bouncing off this trend line, and an ascending triangle suggests we will ascend, right? But again, resistance, resistance. So it's a very difficult one to trade, right? If we ended up getting something like this, right, and we broke out of this trend line and broke these lows, then I would be happy to sell Aussie dollar yen, but only if this scenario played out. Right now, this is pretty much untradeable for me at the moment for those reasons, right? So, yeah, no trade Aussie dollar yen. And, you know, obviously Aussie dollar yen, and the other one you wanted to look at was New Zealand dollar yen. These are highly, highly, highly correlated, right? They move in pretty much exactly the same direction. I mean, look at that. That's New Zealand yen. So the same is going to be true for this, right? Exactly the same, in fact, right? On the day chart, I would suggest we are starting to see higher lows. We've got this level like we did on Aussie dollar yen, but even if we break this level, again, we've got this level of resistance. So buying New Zealand yen is pretty much as identical to Aussie dollar yen, right? We cannot buy this. There's no room for it to move, right? If we, you know, it comes here, resistance, comes here, resistance. So it's exactly the same scenario because they're highly correlated. So yeah, I would stay away from both of those pairs, Trias. And you know, remember, guys, you want to trade pairs that are easy to read, right? You don't want to trade pairs that are difficult to read and there's lots of support and resistance around, right? It just doesn't make sense. Choose pairs that are easy to read. Everyone's pulling in the same direction, whether that's buying or selling, and the trade has room to move into, right? Just logical stuff, guys, right? And these yen pairs don't. Let's take a quick look at the H4. So yeah, okay, so this is breaking down, I would say, right? Because we was in this uptrend. Now I would say we're getting lower highs, lower lows. So it is breaking down, which would suggest we could sell this on the H4, but daily is showing us higher lows, which would suggest buying. So yeah, I would just stay well clear. Right, what else are we looking at? Dexter, how are you, Dexter? Welcome back. Happy New Year, everyone. If I didn't see you, if I haven't seen you since the New Year, Happy New Year. Aussie dollars. Yes, I would agree. Aussie dollar Swiss franc seems much better than Aussie dollar yen at the moment. Yeah, I would agree. I traded Aussie dollar Swiss franc and made some money on that earlier today. But, you know, the thing with Aussie dollar Swiss franc is the weekly chart is so clear. Right? Yeah, just to go back to this weekly chart, right? We was in this uptrend. And now we're in a downtrend, right? We're getting lower highs, lower lows. We're clearly in a downtrend with Aussie dollar Swiss franc. So this suggests we could come lower. Daily's less clear, as I explained earlier, but we are getting a bearish reaction at this level, basically at these last highs here. So, you know, can this make it all the way down to here? Let's see, right? Let's just keep following structure. And also, guys, I just wanted to let you all know while you're all here, hello, that if you enjoy my analysis and you want to understand price action and read the charts like I do, right? Plus look at, trade management, trade entries, managing trades, different strategies for different market phases, hedging, plus much more, guys. Then I have put everything I know into the Simply Forex Trading Course, right? So that's available right now on our website. So if you look above my head, guys, yeah, we're giving you 25% off my trading course right now, and this finishes at the end of January. So if you're looking to improve yourself as a trader, you're looking to analyze the charts and trade similar to myself, then please check out the course. And right now, 25% off. Use code Simply25 at checkout. Check it out. Dexter, thank you. Happy to see you back. Good to be back, Dexter. Okay, so Ryan has a question here. Wouldn't it be better to look at trading yen and Aussie dollar pairs during the Asian session? I would say no, right? It doesn't work like that. So, when it's the London session and the European Open, that logic would suggest we should trade pound and euro pairs, right? And then when the New York opens, we should trade US dollar pairs and Canadian dollar pairs. And then when the Asian session opens, we should trade yen pairs and, Aussie dollar pairs and New Zealand dollar pairs. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah, the money that flows into the markets is not necessarily interested in the currency pair. It's interested in the setup. So every time I take a trade, it doesn't matter if I'm in a different time zone, right? I was back in the UK for a few weeks, or I was in Malaysia not long ago, right? It doesn't matter about the time frame or what time zone I'm in. I will just trade my setup. Simple as that. Yeah, so yeah, that isn't as relevant as you would think. So yeah, just all you can do as a trader is have your trading plan and strategy, right? We also talk about this in the course, and trade it exactly. Okay, doesn't matter what time of day it is, doesn't matter what country you're in, just trade your plan to the letter. Okay, and then give your trading plan, your strategy time to play out and see where you are in a few months. So yeah, that's all we can do. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're more volatile either. Yeah, what? Now this is true, right? So during the Asian session, okay, you are going to have yen news and Aussie dollar news. So then, yes, of course, they become volatile then, right? And during the European and London Open, you generally have pound news and euro news and Swiss franc news. So, yes, that leads to volatility in those pairs. So, yes, news comes out during those sessions for those particular pairs, and that adds to volatility. But if there isn't any news, it won't make any difference. All right. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys. And guys, please don't forget to ask as many questions as you like about trading, right? I'm here, pick my brain, ask questions. Don't be shy. Dexter's suggesting New Zealand Swiss franc seems the most obvious sell trade of the week. Okay, very bold statement, Dexter. Let's take a look. I really like the weekly chart with New Zealand Swiss franc. And I have to agree with you, Dexter, right? This was one of my swing trades from the weekly forecast that we do on Sunday. And as you can see, if we just track New Zealand dollar Swiss franc, we are in a beautiful, not scruffy downtrend, right? Just spitting everywhere while I speak. I apologize. So, look, I mean, that is just such a typical downtrend, right? Lower highs, lower lows, right? We're kind of tracking the moving average 20 as well. Maybe this wants to come down, right? This area here is a really good selling area, potentially back down to here, right? So totally agree that this is a very nice weekly trade idea. Now, what makes it a little bit trickier is the day chart, right? Now, I'm going to ask all of you a question, okay? And Jolma, I will look at the US 100, no problem. So I'm going to ask everyone a question. Let's get involved. Let's make this interactive. So New Zealand dollar Swiss franc, the chart that I'm looking at, this is the day chart. So get involved, leave your comment below in the live chat. Is this in a downtrend, an uptrend, or is it ranging? So New Zealand dollar Swiss franc day chart, what is the trend? Everyone give us your answer. I'll give you a minute or so while I have a drink of water. Not much left. And it's not really water. It's neat vodka. Ryan, I'll answer those questions as well shortly. Let's just focus on this trend. So Dexter is saying downtrend. Jolma is saying downtrend. Anyone else get involved? Don't be shy. I don't bite. Only at weekends I bite. Okay, so Ryan is saying a downtrend, bear market, but consolidation. Anyone else? Get involved. Don't be shy. What New Zealand dollar Swiss franc day chart, what we're looking at right now, is that an uptrend, a downtrend, or is it ranging? Okay, So everyone who answered is suggesting a downtrend. And I would agree with that, Dexter. The correction seems to be coming to an end. All right. So I would agree with that. Now, let's just go back quickly to the weekly chart, right? Now, there was absolutely no doubt about this trend. It was clear as day, right? Now, let's go to the day chart because that's what I asked you about. I would suggest this isn't as clear as we think, right? Now, if I just plot structure, you could argue, right, that we are starting to, kind of see this, right? We're starting to get higher lows, higher highs, right? So I would suggest that the day chart is in an uptrend, not a downtrend. Okay. So it's not that clear to me, right? I know all of you said downtrend, but if I went back in time, right, and we were here and you were selling, right? So just to help you visualize higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, etc. Now let's imagine we were in a trade, right? And we were selling Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. Okay. Let's say we started selling in here, right? We saw and our target is back down to these lows. This is our TP, right? Now, the following day, we see this lovely candle, right? We're selling this. And we are all thinking we're geniuses. This trading is easy. I'm going to hit TP. I'm marvelous, right? And then a day later, right? And bearing that in mind, you would put your stop loss up here somewhere, right? Because this is the last lower high, right? So your stop loss would come here, or your hedge, whatever you use, right? Now, a day later, you'd be thinking, okay, I'm a little bit worried about this trade now. If it breaks this level, I would consider that a structure break, right? And then we play it along, bang, structure break. Yeah, and if we keep playing this along, right, we're seeing an uptrend, right? So for me, daily is in an uptrend, weekly is clearly in a downtrend, but looking at this weekly, I still want to sell this, right? So looking at the daily, what do we need to see? So I would want to see on the daily something like this, right? Let's say we got this, price comes back up to here because we are in a downtrend. This is very probable, right? Following trend, it's probable that this will come back up to these highs, right? Then we get another big bearish reaction, price comes down, and then it eventually breaks, this low in here, right? Obviously, price action and structure may look a little different to this, but you get the idea. I would need to see a daily structure break, and this is what this represents. And if we got that, I would start selling in here with a view to taking it back down to these lows, right? Now, you can swap's not the right word. You can use a variety of time frames to make your decision. In an ideal world, every time frame is pulling in the same direction, right? That's perfect, right? But obviously trading's not always perfect, right? So what you could say to yourself is, if we go back to the weekly, is like, I really like this weekly rejection here, okay? Daily is not clear. It's not, right? I would suggest this will make it back up to this level, right? So what I'm going to do is wait for a H4 structure break, okay? Because you can see how powerful a H4 structure break here. So if we just start here, we have been in a H4 uptrend since here, right? And that's that daily uptrend we're talking about. Now, if this candle, right, this current candle that's forming, if it finishes like this, this is the first time we have had a H4 structure break. So you could combine weekly, which you want to sell, with a H4 structure break, right? We get something like this, which is what we're seeing now. And that could be your entry criteria. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but what I am saying is you're getting more confluence, right? Me personally, I need to see that. I would like to see that daily in a downtrend as well, but weekly and H4 are coinciding with each other, right? And then you could say to yourself, right, we're in a H4 downtrend. If I get a retrace into here, yeah, I would start selling, put my stop loss above here with a view to taking price lower. All right, and that would be a very feasible trade with a lot of confluence. So yeah, that would be an idea as well. Right, let's go back to real time. Right, what else are we looking at, guys? Ryan's asked, do you ever trade the Asian session? Yes, I do, because I normally wake up around 6 o'clock Dubai time, and that's bang in the middle of the Asian session. So yes, I do. If I wake up while I'm doing my analysis, if I see a setup, I will take it. Simple as that. It doesn't bother me if it's the Asian session, New York session, London session. I just trade my setup. Right, what else are we looking at? So Jolma wanted to look at the US 100. Okay, so we can take a look at that. The NAS 100. Okay, I'm assuming Jolma. So we'll take a look at that. Let's have a quick look at any other questions. Okay. So let's just take a quick look at what Varys is saying. So Varys said on the H1, yeah, okay. So Varys is telling us that we're seeing kind of a support level in here, right? And would need to see a break of this level. Okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with that idea. There's also a level in here, right? I would want to see price retrace into here. Moving average 20 catches up, and this could be a good selling opportunity, and only back down to this level, right? Or we wait for a break, retest, and take it lower. So yeah, both trade ideas are feasible, but yeah, understand what you're saying, Varys. Okay, and then right, let's have a look at. I'm assuming you've got the US 30 or the NAS 100. So let's have a look at the NAS 100 for Jolma. And again, guys, before we look at the NAS 100, let me just mention that we are super excited to announce that we have created the complete Simply Forex trading course, guys, right? It's now available on our website, and it covers, you know, everything from reading the charts, price action, managing trades, trade entries, psychology, money and risk management, hedging, even our new straddle strategy, plus other strategies. It is the complete trading course, guys. All right. So if you're interested in that right now, visit our website, and we're now giving you 25% off the course, right? Using code Simply25 at checkout. All right. So check it out, guys. Yeah. And then once you've completed the course, come join our trading community, and we can carry on your trading journey. Right. Let's have a look at the NAS 100, right? So the thing here, I have to go to the monthly because I know the monthly chart has quite a bearish candle, right? Now, I wouldn't normally go as high as the monthly, but let's take a real broad view of the indice, right? The NASDAQ. Now, this is telling us that potentially there's a bit of a retrace on the cards, right? If you ever get a big monthly wick, right, price has a retrace. It might shoot back up, but if we get a big wick, it generally means a retrace, right? I mean, if you just go back in history, guys, right? You know, let's have a look at I'm just looking at any wick, right? If you see this wick, it comes down. The next wick, right? The next wick's up here, comes down. Next wick comes down, right? So we have to bear that in mind. We're in an uptrend. There's no two ways about it, right? We all know the indices are in an uptrend, but are sellers starting to come into the market? Are the bears starting to appear with force, right? The monthly would suggest yes. Then if we look at the weekly, it's all about buyers, right? If we look at this, this is basically where we're at. We're in an uptrend, higher lows, higher highs, right? We're clearly in an uptrend. And then look at these candles, right? That is suggesting we're coming higher again. So the problem with the NASDAQ specifically and some of the other indices, you've got this weekly buying pressure with this large monthly selling candle. So what that normally means is a fight to the death. Okay, a bit dramatic, but you know what I mean. So what you're probably going to see is this. You're probably going to see monthly sellers start selling, weekly buyers start buying, monthly sellers start selling, weekly buyers start buying. You might get an area of consolidation starting to form because of these opposite forces, right? So what I'd need to see is really a break to the upside. That would suggest a continuation, or a break to the downside, and this would suggest a retrace is overdue. All right, now that's what weekly and monthly are suggesting. Now, if we look at the daily, you know, there's a bit of confusion here, right? This is not easy price action, but what we are seeing are lower highs. So this supports those monthly sellers, right? And this would suggest we can come back down to here again. But if this level keeps holding, right, then weekly buyers will keep pushing this back up. So this could be the start of this consolidation that we see. We might see something like this, and it just keeps on contracting, and then price eventually has to go somewhere. Will it fly back up to the highs? Will it break this level and go lower? All right, so right now, yeah, not interested in the indices. One thing I would say is, you know, you've got to keep an eye on the GDP figures, right? Yeah, because they're the number one indicator for if we're entering a recession or not, right? 2 negative GDP numbers means we're technically in a recession, but nobody speaks of a recession. It's like a swear word. They don't want to create panic. So yeah, we shall see. I hope that helps, Joma. And guys, yeah, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and smash that like button. Please don't forget to join us same time tomorrow, 7 a.m. New York EST time. Get your questions ready for us then, and I'll see you same time again tomorrow.